called Dark Throne. It beckons us all with a lot of dots. I mean, it's 7 dots, which is weird because an ellipses is 3 dots. So maybe it's like 2 ellipses and then a period, but a period wouldn't really come. It came out April 26th on Peaceville Records. The guys literally watch over me, like right there at all times. So this was not a negative review I want to give. I mean, like there's also a photo of them over there, level fan of this band. I just can't remember the last time I was this unenthused about Dark Throne. It's just kind of boring. I'm not mad because it doesn't feel like a cash grab. It just feels like they shot a shot and missed. I've heard some positive response to this album, so maybe it's just a divisive one and I fell in the wrong spot. Because honestly, Black Dawn Affiliation is amazing, and with some editing, so would the Lone Pines of the Lost Planet. But there's just as much on here that's just, I don't know, forgettable. Like, there's been a lot of questions in the comments lately about review scores, like, oh, this is a 3, but this is a 3, this is a 3.5. The albums aren't like an objective number. Like, there's a reason we talk for 10 minutes before we give something a 2.5. It's not a 2.5, it's a 2.5 with 10 minutes of talk attached to it. So that's why it might not necessarily compare to another 2.5. If you want to know what a 1 is, I've heard someone say, what would a 1 album be? I gave Machine Head a 1. That's a 1. This one, I'm rambling because I don't want to give this a 2.5. So there is stuff I really like about this album. I love Dark Throne, but I think I've got to give it 2.5 out of 5 skulls that are sad boys. What doesn't make me sad is shoutouts. Giving you more albums. If you like black metal, Signal Rex released Mons Veneris, which sounds like a slang for vagina. Ascent into Draconian Abyss. That's some cool stripped down black metal. And Svart Relentless Downfall, which is some more kind of big production black metal. So 2 different types of black metal to go with the Dark Throne record. Am I wrong about this album? I'm happy to be wrong about this one. I'll take this L. Let me know in the comments below if I'm just a moron and you think it's amazing, and if I missed something. Please prove me wrong on this one. I would love that. It seems like everybody wanted me to talk about the new album from 6 Feet Under called Killing for Revenge. It comes out today, May 10th on Metal Blade Records. God, I'm delirious at this point. What the hell do I say? I mean, the last 6 Feet Under was boinkers. Truly one of the strangest things ever created. This is actually so much better. It's still absolutely fucked, but hey, progress is progress. I actually just love Chris Barnes now, and he's gonna be mad at me if he hears this, and I don't want him to be. Chris, I love you. Just stop mixing your vocals like this, please. I beg you, sir. And don't block me on Twitter, please, also as well. So yeah, I don't know, man. You know what it is. 1.5 out of 5 Nightmares of the Decomposed Skulls, so we can see how much better the album cover is over the last record too. Woo! But of course, we have shout-outs to close things out. I have 3 records for you that I'm jazzing this week. Hey, somebody tell Chris, if you like that Antichrist Siege Machine, my pals Primitive Warfare just put out Extinction Protocol on Stygian Black Hand. Another very sick war metal release coming out. And then I've got 2 black metal-y releases for you. We got Lich, Spear and Stone. It's an independent release. And Mark Graff with Hohenbaden on Blutrosh Propaganda. Links for those are down below. I can't wait to see the comment section on this one.
Well, who doesn't want some more Uncle Acid? That is the 6th studio album by British hard rockers, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. Nell Ora Blue, or for us English-speaking folk, In the Blue Hour. I do think this is a really great album. You know, when you really sit down and listen to it and all the different things that they've done on this sound-wise, you know, the ambience of the album, the flow of the record where you can't put this on shuffle whatsoever. And if you do that, it would not make sense at all. You really, really, really need to listen to it consecutively. And that being said, I am giving this 4.2 creepy uncles out of 5. And that could be my creepy uncle or your creepy uncle. Hell yeah, I love this part, man. There's so much great music popping around, people sending me stuff. So let's get going. May 10th, the band The Hazy Tones from Montreal. This album is called Wild Fever. It is out on Black Throne's production. It is Montreal hard rock. It's like blistering rock and roll fury. These guys just did a tour with Cannabis that was totally awesome. They did a lot of Quebec and Ontario dates, and these guys rip. You should check out the new album. Black Throne has a bunch of records. Go buy that. It's totally blistering rock and roll fury. And then up next, right there, Dope Throne, an amazing, amazing Montreal, as they call them, sludge. They're sludge. You know, they're really gross. They're filthy. Like, I would not want my parents to listen to this band whatsoever. They would most likely disown me. So this album by Dope Throne is out May 24th. It is on Totem Cat Records, and it is called Broke Sabbath. And then out now, a really great Nigerian desert blues band called Mudu Mokhtar. And this album is called Funeral for Justice. These guys are really amazing, really bringing in that Nigerian sound into this whole desert blues theme. These guys rock. I have all of their records and I'm really excited to pick this up. Again, that is out right now. And then, so this is quite the mysterious mention here. There's this band called The Strange Happenings, which are a really great Ontario rock band. Here is a picture of the band. And here is the first ever sneak preview of the cover. Yeah, it's totally blurred out. Who knows what it's going to look like, right? These guys are really cool. It's coming out, they told me, sometime in June. Really good rock and roll, bringing a little psychedelic vibe to it as well. That wraps up this review.
Gatecreeper is putting out their third full-length album, Dark Superstitions, out May 17th, 2024 on Nuclear Blast Records, and we're about to talk about it. So first off, I have to say, I'm having a great track record this year with potent, magical album releases. Like, I am all here for it, and everything I've heard, I've pretty much loved. So with this one, it's quick, it's easy. It's one of those records where you can throw it on in the car, you can throw it on when you're cleaning the house, throw it on when you take the dog out, throw it on when you're changing the baby's diaper. Who cares? You don't have to overthink it. But the thing is that if you want to, there's so many cool incorporated nuances that are built within it. So either way, it's simultaneously a win-win. And with that being said, this is going to be my second 5 out of 5 Skulls album so far of 2024. So first and foremost, I have Girthang. They are dropping their latest full length on May 31st, 2024 on Immortal Frost Productions. It's really, really cool, black and deathy funeral doom from Poland, but it's been mixed and mastered by Nomadic Arts, which is an absolutely phenomenal sound studio based out of my motherland of Canada, and I am all here for it. Second up, if you're big on the heavy, evil, riffy speed metal, then this is going to be that release for you. I've got Bat with their latest album, Under the Crooked Claw, also out on May 17th on Nuclear Blast. It's fun with some really old school callbacks. Last but certainly not least, this is one of my favorite bands in the whole world, and I've only talked about them 899 times on here. We have Fluisterars with their latest release out April 26th on Eisenwald. Their post-black metal perfection every time, except here's the catch. It's currently only available on CD and vinyl, but let me tell you, it's absolutely worth it. And I'm going to be seeing these guys in a few weeks at Fortress Fest, and I don't think I've ever been more excited to see a band before in my life. Ever.
Yes, this one's about the new Pallbearer record called Mind Burns Alive. It came out May 17th on Nuclear Blast. Sorry, Brett. I know that was a little harsh. I'm a little hard on Pallbearer, but it's because I loved that first record so much. So I know what they've got in them, but their past two just seem to be missing that spark. Here, though, I do feel a little more optimistic about Pallbearer's future because they've opened up their sound a bit instead of the narrowing path they were on before. The loss of heavy is starting to be substituted with something. But at the end of the day, you can always do a lot worse than Pallbearer because they just sound good. And while I don't love this record, it is a good record and it has piqued my curiosity for the next one. And it has been a while since I was like, hey, I wonder if the next Pallbearer record's going to be super sick. Like almost a decade at this point. So on that note, the optimism, the nice warm texture, I can give it 3 out of 5 skulls, and the skulls are from the cover of Foundation of Burden because, man, remember when Pallbearer had good album covers? But hey, don't go anywhere. We've still got shout-outs, of course. So first, we've got Lucifuge. They're a Metal Monthly alumni. They're releasing Hex and Sabbath on Dying Victims Productions. Mortal Wound are releasing the great titled The Anus of the World on Misaku and Ojo. Reversed, out of Canada, are releasing Wildly Possessed on Invictus Productions. And if you want some experimental, but it's black metal, it's not doom, it's Vestiger, The Path of Perdition on Avant-Garde Music. So there's 4 more records for you. Today, May 24th, we get a new album from Rotting Christ called Pro Cristo on Season of Mist. All I'm saying is, I've got heavy covered. This isn't a heavy band. They're a big band. And big bands, they're not heavy. I'm sorry, they're not. This record, though, they effectively use what comes with being a big band to create something that others wouldn't be able to. The black metal keeps the folk metal grounded, except on Yggdrasil, but whatever the hell happened there is mostly contained, and we get a very solid record. It might not be the most original record, it might be a little repetitive, but it is highly enjoyable. Like I said, I don't know what the hell I was smoking 5 years ago, but I don't smoke weed anymore, and I'd give their last record a 3. This is more enjoyable than that. I had fun with it, so I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 retrospective skulls. And 3.5 is a good it means I enjoyed it. Don't freak out about a 3.5. It's a good score. It means good. But, of course, we have shout-outs to close things out. I'm kind of tapped for shout-outs, so I don't have anything that's coming out this week, but I do have some records coming out next week, because next week I'm off. Next week you're getting some DK videos. Yay! So, coming out next week, keep an eye out for Black Metal in Wounded Funerals, Scalp on Satanath Records. They're Canadian. Cool. If you want some Black in Death, you've got Adversarial, Solitude with the Eternal on Dark Descent Records, coming out May 31st. And if you just want some straight-up death, you've got House by the Cemetery, The Mortuary Hauntings on Pulverized Records. So there's 3 more records for you.
Duh! It's Kerry King's From Hell I Rise, released May 17th on Reigning Phoenix Record. So where does that leave us on a rating? As I laid out for you, there are things I really liked about this one and things I really didn't like about it. Overall, a very good sounding record. Shout out to Josh Wilbur on yet another excellent producer credit, but this album doesn't really offer anything too new or too fresh song-wise. If we can't have new Slayer, this is definitely the next best thing. But much like the last few Slayer records, it will never replace the 80s and early 90s Slayer records in my regular listening rotation. All things considered, I give Kerry King's From Hell I Rise 3 out of 5 Show No Mercy skulls on Overkill Reviews. All right, let's do some shout-outs. This is other current music that you should absolutely be listening to. Wraith, Heathen's Touch, May 9th on Prosthetic. Indiana's Blackened Speed Machine dropped a new single, announced a signing to Prosthetic, and also have a full length coming in June. Plus, you can see them on that tour with Exciter, Midnight, and Hellwitch that I mentioned at the top of this review. Get on board now. This band is going all the way, and the new single fucks. Sebastian Bach, Child Within the Man, May 10th on Reigning Phoenix. Hey, same label as Kerry King. I haven't actually sat down and listened to this yet, full disclosure, but I've been told by a bunch of people I respect and trust that it's more Skid Row than anything Skid Row has done recently. So, it's all that, plus it's friggin' Baz, man. It's Baz, man! Just let's all listen to this one this week and reconvene. What do you think? Bat Under the Crooked Claw, May 17th on Nuclear Blast. An absolutely vicious second full-length record from the Richmond, Virginia Kings of Street Metal. It's everything that you love about Motorhead, Venom, Razor, and DRI. I spent a couple weeks on tour with these guys recently, can confirm their live show is not to be missed, so go catch them on tour starting in June with Necrod. Damn, that is how you start a record off. It's the debut self-titled record from Hell Butcher, released May 31st on Metal Blade. In summary, this record is 33 minutes of all killer and 0 filler. There's 0 boring parts, and the more you listen to it, the more you find a new layer, a new tone, a new lick, or a new lyric to obsess over. When coming up with a rating, I tried to think about what I would do or how I would make this record better. And there's truly nothing I would change if I had the option to. But I also believe that music is art, and there is no such thing as absolute objectively perfect when it comes to art. So all these things considered, I'm giving Hell Butcher a 4.5 out of 5 skulls right here on Overkill Reviews. All right, let's do some shout-outs. If you're not listening to this music already, what are you doing with your life? Evil Dead Toxic Grace, May 24th on Steamhammer. It's LA thrash at its finest. If you don't already know, Evil Dead features Juan Garcia of Body Count, Agent Steel, and Abattoir fame. This is their first record since 2020. It may not have their old school Ed Repka artwork on it, but I can tell you it still has all that old school crossover thrash, riffy goodness that you would expect from some OGs of the genre. Shrapnel in Gravity, May 31st on Candlelight. UK thrashers from the underground featuring members of Gamma Bomb and Reaper. They are back with their 4th album. While their old stuff will maybe more classified as thrash in the realm of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I think you'll dig the slightly more open-minded and creative approach to this record. Give it a listen. Sin Absence, Path to Glory, May 27th, released independently. A brand new single worth checking out from LA's shreddy and melodic Sin Absence. Whether you're into traditional heavy metal or melodic death metal, there is definitely something here for you to enjoy. Take it for a spin. And that's the review. It was great to see you twice in 1 week. Who knows when I'll pop up next?